Hey, Utah, that's where I'm from. Russia, Germany, Greece, India, Iowa, Slovakia, Denmark. Hey, Ireland, Germany. What an amazing group worldwide. Your face looks so different. Yeah, okay, so there's a there's a face going on. So one is I'm on caloric restriction. I love everyone posting their places. Morocco, Kurdistan, Hungary. This is amazing, you guys. Yeah, so maybe let me comment on my face real quick. Is I'm on caloric restriction, so I eat 2,000 calories a day, and that has caused me to be pretty lean. So I'm yeah, so some facial volume, and there's two ways to restore. Well, I guess not two ways to restore facial volume. Most people get fillers as they age to rebuild volume in their face. I did an allograft fat transfer. And so what I did is I took a donor, because I don't have any fat on my body to inject on myself. Otherwise, and so I injected it in my face, and my face is swollen from that. And then I have some other microneedling stuff. But yeah, my face is pretty beat up today, and it's pretty. So I nicknamed myself something else. So the swelling will be down in a few days, but I'm trying to rebuild facial volume from being on caloric restriction. That's kind of a significant thing, is because when you lose the facial volume, people automatically associate older age, because facial fat is. Okay, cool. All right, let's get started for this week. I have a few thoughts for you at the end. Audio is cutting in and out. Team, see that? Hi, China. Am I lying, or am I actually in a caloric deficit? I'm doing caloric restriction. Yeah, that's the thing. I really can't lie. I mean, I'm measured by hundreds of biomarkers. So if I try to lie, a true story, I just can't lie. Okay, long video on hair. There's a lot of stuff on hair. All right. My grandma loves your work. Give your grandma my best. Hey, Natalie, are you there? All right, Natalie, I have a little bit of context on what's going on in your life, but
Yes.
mind.
My mind is like I'm in just in a generic form or just here right now type of what's on my mind.
You know what? We can take any path you want.
Any path, you know what? I'm in an observational mode in my life and I would just like to know where to go. Like I just finished university, just finished college this December. I did the whole fame journey in Atlanta. It's an illusion, I realize, and I'm just like, where do I go next? Trying to be my autonomous self, meaning I want to do things based on the totality of being a better person, feeling good, but as well trying to fit in and exist in this world we're living in. So I came here, and the biggest thing that I'm going through is I want to be healthy. I want to be optimal health without the tyrannical form of, well, like this culture around food and fitness. And I want to be healthy and think about my long term. Like, I saw people from 10 years for the 10-year reunion. I'm like, oh, you need to start thinking of that when you get to
Mm-hmm.
these ages, because you're eventually just going to become older and be these ages. And I truly want to think about that. And I came here and I said, this is probably my answer. Like I said, I'm in an observational mode in my life, and this may be the path I need to go in for a long term, wherever I go, because I need to think about my health. And even when I think about my job in the entertainment industry, I still need to think about
Mm-hmm.
health being a correlating thing. So I hope that answers.
That's great. Okay, cool. So I think the question for all of us as we're having a conversation on this is, so even though Natalie and I are talking together, all of us are talking at the same time. So the concepts we're going to address are going to be on everyone's minds, and we're going to map our own decision making. So Natalie, what I hear you're saying, and what I would map to my world, I'd say, okay, I think the most interesting thing happening in 2023 is, after billions of years of evolutionary, we are here. We're steps away from creating super intelligence. And to me, opportunity of potentially the most extraordinary existence in all of the galaxy, potentially. And I don't want to miss out on that show. I want to be present. Now, it could end badly, yes, but I want a ticket of admission to the future, which means that the number one priority I have is don't die. Like, be around for this future, because it could be more marvelous than anything we could ever.
Mhm.
If we start peeling back the layers of the onion on doing that, we can say, well, there's an immediate choice in front of me. Do I have a donut for breakfast, or I try to do something healthy? And then there's decisions: do I go to bed on time, or do I, skip it? And all the immediate things. Then there's certain layers up. Which friends do I maintain? What activities do we do? Another layer of what career do I choose? And then what pressures do those career choices have on me? And then the other one is, like you're saying, this meta awareness of like, where are you in the system of things, like
Mhm.
in this context and place, like the bigger, trying to really capture yourself in this context. And for all of us, it's probably a process of identifying each of these individual layers of these highly specific, what do I do in this very moment, to these bigger concepts. I understand you feel some friction in your desire to be healthy and to take into the step into the future, and the expectations that people in your industry have of you. Is
Yes.
that a primary point of friction?
It is, and it's so interesting because I see both worlds. I see the people who work on, like the people work on set and do the industry, and then you have the consumer. So on set, the friction and level of insanity for me that the people who consume like the movies and TV is that when they go on like social media, like they expect you to be there, and then
Hmm.
when you're on the set, you know that it's like a marketing job thing. So when I went back to college, it was really frictional because I got off of social media because I needed a level of sanity, and it was just too much for me. And then it was just like you can feel people of authority judging you because you didn't have social media, but you see it from a industrial way.
Hmm.
So like the industry expects one thing from you, which is your job to be professional, and then people that are in, I guess you can say, the free world, they expect you just to have it because that's just what humans do. And
Hmm.
that's the biggest friction is where do I go? Like you said, going with the evolutionary of humans,
Hmm.
what
Hmm.
is the truth? Because I hear economy, I see, these things, recession and things, and I'm like, okay, this can transform the, like you said last week, it was the uncomfortability of the human civilization. And I'm like, so how do I survive? How do I just want to be alive? Because it may just be no longer Natalie, but human flesh just existing on this planet Earth. So that's the friction I have,
Hmm.
and I rather just know hard facts right now than to and be 28. So when I'm 38, if there is a 38 and we're in this, if that even exists in the cosmos,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
I just want to be alive, and I want to be, yeah, happy being alive, but be just there to live through it.
Hmm.
Because if something like if AI takes over my job, then there's no more of that. I just, like I said, I want to have food, I want to have clothing, I want to have resources, and I just have to go with that. Then, so I hope that answers about the friction because I do experience friction in the industry and ironically in the free world of people who consume the industry and those who work on it. So I'm in
Yeah.
this,
Okay.
yeah.
So if we're trying to make some progress, so let's just say all of us are imagining that we feel over by the systems that surround us because we're part of a larger mesh of society,
Mm-hmm.
that they have certain expectations of us, and that we want to be involved in society, in their activities. We want to have social activities, and then we feel the strain between these expectations that have us go all the way down the rabbit hole of these self-destructive behaviors, but then also pulling ourselves out of that a desired outcome. So let's just try to narrow the to something hyper specific. So are you feeling the tension in your job, or are you feeling it in your personal relationship, or what specific thing are you trying to solve?
I want to solve what is the truth of existence because on
Mm.
in
Mm.
my job, I am educating myself about social media from a social media marketing perspective, meaning this
Mm-hmm.
is like a job, meaning you're not going to post just a random thing without it correlating to promoting what you're doing. So I don't see it like, hey, what are you up to today? It's more of a, okay, there's promotion going on. That's what the image is going to be. Meaning, if it was modeling, you're just promoting like your job, your whatever, your booking, and it's hard because when I got signed like 10 years ago, I would have never thought that me working as a curve model, you think it's a dream. Your contract says oh, you're going to go to Europe and stuff like that. And then suddenly 10 years later, you have social media, which isn't like aligned with your contract at all. It is, and models are getting in trouble because of what they're posting. And then you have people saying, well, you're skinny mini, you're not really plus size. And it's like, okay. And I'm like, I got hospitalized because of that idea of people just harassing you. And so that's one thing, is that idea in my job. And then you try to better yourself. You try to go to school. You try to get a college. Maybe a college degree can help me, because like I worked in the industry before I went back at 23. So when I went to school, you have people who are at level of authority with social media looking at you online and saying, well, do you have a social media presence? And it's the person that I'm working for at school. And I'm like, wait, what? So it's just very contradicting about how to exist. So you go in free world, you try to better yourself in a facility, and then people are on social media. They say it's a private life, and then I'm like, no, it's not a private life when you get to the social media marketing. And then
So
when you do, I'm sorry, but when you, so a lot of friction about how do you like exist, because industry's saying it's marketing, but free world is saying it's socialization. But I don't know, and that's where the
yeah, so
friction.
it sounds like there's a fundamental conflict between the expectations that your job has of you, or that
Yes.
your industry slash your contract has. Then there are things that you want to do, and you
Yes.
feel the tension between the two and solve it. And so you see
Correct.
these two worlds fighting, and it sounds like you feel trapped in the commercial side of your business of what they want or perceive, and then you're also getting backlash for this thing which you don't want, and then you have this other way you want to behave.
Yes.
Is that the crux of the issue?
That's the truth. And it's like, if you don't behave the way, I guess, not free will, but like people who are not in the industry, then you're weird. You're the one that's strange. Like, you don't have a social media account? What? And it's just
Yeah,
like, yeah. And
yeah,
and that's the biggest pull about trying to be my autonomous self, is like, I'm trying to have my own thoughts, my own sanity, but how do I?
yeah. Okay, cool. All right, now let's hang out in the comments just for a second. Hi,
Uh,
everybody. So everyone, again, the reminder is be nice to Natalie. If you want to be mean or you want to hurl insults or, send it my way, the New York Times vote Trump in 2024. Wait, we're on Natalie, everyone. Okay. Ashwagandha, ketone levels. Yeah, social media is very stressful. Yep. Yep. Confronting grind culture. Exactly. Yep. Cardio workouts. Yep. Okay, cool. So Natalie, I think uh, you probably have options. One is to maintain your current disposition, where you've got conflict between what you're personally doing and what you want to become, and just
mhm.
be with that conflict. Two is to try to reconcile it. So like figure out some
Oh,
mind space to be within both worlds where you're at. Or three is to probably choose a different path. I mean,
I
there's
think so.
it, don't know if continuing to do the same thing and expecting different results is going to net you anything in a positive fashion.
Mhm.
But yeah, sounds like this is probably something that everyone experiences in life, is this constant tension between social expectations and professional expectations, and then what you really want to do. And so if we look at the things that are holding us back, oftentimes these are the fingerprints we're going to find, and they're layers and layers of, so very hard to deal with.
It
Cool.
is.
All right, so Natalie, thanks for being on. I appreciate talking to you
Thank you. Thank you
and
so much
wishing
for
you
the
the best.
conversation.
Yeah, wishing you for the best
Thank
in this.
you.
Cool.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the challenge. Thank you, Natalie. Good, you got some shout outs there. This is I guess the challenge of this format is I've been trying to play with this is, are these things worth doing on a regular basis? Like, are these conversations helpful for people? Is it useful to think out loud with others? Would there be something better, specific topics instead of doing these more generalized conversations? So, feedback if we should continue these, if so, in what format, how is this useful to any of you? So please let me know what you think. Yeah. Okay, Ari, let's go.
Thank you. So, by the way, you look great. I don't know, on my camera it doesn't really show up all that. All those tests you're doing, they
Yeah,
don't really show up that well on the
yeah.
camera. So I had actually a lot of questions, and your team helped me narrow them down, and they were kind of from different areas. So I had actually like almost 40. Your team narrowed down to six, and I think the audience will be glad to hear them. So
Yeah.
number one, today is the 2000 June 2026. And this has been the best 3 years of your life. What has happened for the last 3 years?
Oh, this is for me.
That's for you.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll just make up a scenario. I'll say that that 32 of the states in the United States of America have voted to make sugar what is it, category one or category two drug, and that humans did this. Citizens of the states, the government did not do this. Citizens of the United States did this, and other countries, because they said we as a species are in a difficult situation with our climate changing and with all kinds of problems we have. And these self destructive behaviors we have that permeate society are at the root cause. And we humans choose life over choosing our vices and addictions. And so it's not like the prohibition movement where it comes from a form of righteousness or moral cause. It just says we are a species that is going to survive or die based upon how fast we evolve. And we can't evolve when we're addicted, and we can't choose our vices over life. And so we choose to start eliminating these things in society that are killing us.
I see. So I hear sugar essentially categorized as a drug to help people understand that it's not, you cannot just eat unlimited quantities of it, right?
Well, I
Is
mean,
that the way?
it's like this contemplation. So we see there's these increasingly extreme weather events throughout the world. Like we have a very serious problem on our hands. We don't know how serious it is. We don't know what the compounded effects are going to be, and but then when we look at the problem, we say, what do we do about it? There's like, what is in my power? I can recycle my Amazon boxes, but actually, I'd say what's interesting to me is that the power is a different vector. Let's eliminate. I put sugar in there as a placeholder, like as the substance that is inviting this self-destructive behavior that we are powerless to resist, and then our capitalistic system just serves it to us nonstop as a drip, like we're all addicted. And so it's more of a species level contemplation. Like we to do something that increases our probability of survival. And even though we can't change immediately, the transition from petroleum-based products to cleaner energy, we can do other things that are in our control. And so it'd be this broad-based action that we as a species are taking taking specific action for the success of our species.
Yeah, the way I see it, I want to continue with the next question, but just to comment on that, the way I see it is that the food industry has a tight grip on what we see on the TV screens, and that really affects a lot of our actions are affected by the food industry and what is advertised on the TV. So and it's kind of hard to break it because it's a cycle, right? You have multiple factors that factor into that. It's not just my decisions. Like I go home, I sit down with children, I see something on TV. Most likely, what they promote, they probably promote Coke, they probably promote pizza, they probably promote some other things, which inevitably will make our choices. So
Right.
there are multiple factors that go into that. So it's not yeah, but obviously it starts with me. I need to make a decision. Yeah, so my second question is, did your team conclude 33% carb calories is optimal for you? How did you get to that number? The Blueprint website says 48% fats, 33% carbs, 19% of calories from proteins. USDA recommends 45 to 65% calories from carbs. So why 33%?
Yeah. So let me pull this up. So there's a few things about Blueprint which I think are really helpful to understand. Okay. All right. So here's the blue. This is blueprint.brianjohnson.co. So you can see here, I have my entire protocol online. And so this is what is referencing here. So the first principle of Blueprint is that this is not the only way one can achieve what I'm trying to do. There's many other paths to try to achieve these markers. And this is just one way. And so the way we've gone about doing this is I have a team of scientists, and they've reviewed extensively the literature of how someone can slow their speed of aging and rejuvenate aging across the board. And so if you look at my markers, let me go to the top here. If you look at my data over the past couple of years, here's the list of accomplishments of the things I think that are most significant that we've achieved over this 2.5 year time period. So I think the more significant ones are slowed my speed of aging by the equivalent of 31 years. Now aging is slower than the average 10-year-old. My recent VO2 max score of 58.7. And so Blueprint is not to say it's the only thing that works. It's one thing that works. Number two, that we haven't looked at all the different permeations. So there's a bunch of things that could potentially work that we haven't tried. And then three is because we base this on evidence, we do things that have been clinically tested. Now, other things can be effective in doing and accomplishing these objectives and not have evidence. That's totally fine. And a lot of people do many of these things. We just don't do it because we focus on the things that have evidence. And so in terms of that ratio, that what I like about that is I can say, that's what we've chosen, and here's my data. So there's not an opinion in there. It's just protocol to data, and then you see in me what this has produced over that 2.5 year time period. So to me, that's one of the more persuasive ways of approaching this versus now trying to triangulate 10 different opinions, which are all going to differ depending on the topic.
I see. So essentially it does work, right? So I assume this 33% carbs, calories from carbs, really over an extended period of time. It's not just 1 month, 2 months. It's more like I assume it's somewhere between 1 to 2 years. You consistently on that level of calories from carbohydrates. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yep. And so you in my experience in this world, you can engage in 5 anti-aging scientists. You can give them all the same papers and ask them to design you an anti-aging protocol. You'll get a different protocol from every scientist. They will not agree. And so this is the thing is if you try to go out and reconcile your own plan based upon the disparate opinions of various experts, like it's impossible. It's like, good luck. You need measurement. It's the only way to settle the score is measure, either an N of 1 or in a larger study. But otherwise, you're really just throwing darts and you have no idea where you're going.
Yeah, so my follow-up question is kind of from the same category. So I personally experienced after I reduced carbohydrates, I mean, I still eat once in a while, I would like, let's say, have a slice of pizza. But when I made a decision to reduce carbohydrates, I kind of realized that intuitively I'm less craving carbohydrates, meaning sweets, bread, pizza, pasta, rice, potatoes. So did you experience something similar where that reduction in carbohydrates make you less
Yeah.
crave ice cream or sweets or bread, pizza, pasta, rice, potatoes, and stuff like that?
Yeah, a lot of people look at what I do and they'll say that's like no way to live. They think it's like dystopic or somehow undesirable. And I look back at my former self when I was chasing my next hit, just what you're saying, my next piece of bread or pizza or ice cream or whatever. And it was always a contemplation, when am I going to eat that next thing? And it was awful being on this roller coaster of emotional expectation. And now I'm just steady. I love it so much. I don't have these huge cravings. I'm not whipped back and forth. I don't have the emotional, turbulence. So no, they're gone. I'm steady, and I'm so grateful because it's there.
That's great. Yeah, so I have similar experience, but my experience is very recent. I kind of decided to cut down on carbs, and it does, from my personal experience, is that it does make me like essentially I crave less anything that has with carbohydrates. So my next question is, how can I get involved with or volunteer for Blueprint movement? Because
Yeah.
it's more than just a company. It's more than just a few products. It's more of a kind of mindset, right? Because ultimately, collectively, we should get together and make a decision to, well, how can we focus on health span, meaning living
Yeah.
healthy, not living, not just living longer, right? I mean,
Yeah.
statistically we're living longer, but most people basically on pills. Pills have side effects, and it's just not a good situation.
I'm reading this book right now on inhibition, and it that took place in like 1917 timeframe. And well, I mean, for a few decades before that, there was this effort to try to curb alcohol consumption because it was just rampant in society. And it makes me, it's really a fresh reminder that we are no different than humans who lived 50 years ago and 100 years ago and 300 years ago. We have the same biochemical processes, we have the same thoughts, we have the same desires. They're just manifest different in our cultural context, but we are exactly the same. Now, because we're living in this moment, we think our experience is novel. We think it's somehow new, but we're just repeating these same thought patterns and whatnot that's had before. And it's really fresh. And so what I think is really, I mean, artificial intelligence is the most dominant thing to happen on planet Earth. It's going to restructure our society. It's going to create this it's going to be all around us. Like, it's just going to be like electricity. It's going to be everywhere. And Blueprint, to me, I just finished writing this draft of the philosophy behind Blueprint, which is zeroism. And to me, we need a framework to understand ourselves in this larger context of how we move forward as a species. And so it does start tangibly with diet and sleep and exercise, but we really need a larger intellectual framework to say, where are we going as a species and what are we trying to achieve? So I agree with you. And I'm working on this right now. I mean, this is kind of the contemplation of doing these. This is the fourth one of the 4-week one we were talking about. I'm trying to figure out what to do and how to bring this about. So I agree with you. I have the same desire, and I think this really warrants being a global movement of where we want to go as a species, and that really one that relies upon process for all of us to become our better selves, independent of ideological preference.
And independent of marketing on TV, right? Because
Yeah.
most people form the opinion based on marketing, and unfortunately, what is marketed by, let's say, food industry, does not necessarily in the best interest of health.
Yeah, I agree. Cool. All right. If it's okay with you, I'm going to wrap things up there and then take a few comments.
Sure.
Yep. So, all right, I understand that what you represent, I think, generally is you've got great questions. You're trying to do your very best. This thing is very complicated. I guess the short answer here on Blueprint is I Blueprint to basically show flight was possible, or a 4-minute mile, or flying across the Atlantic. I endeavored to be an explorer, say, nobody thought this was possible before, and I want to show it's possible. And when once one person shows it's possible, many others can do it. I didn't design Blueprint to be a really easy thing to do, because that wasn't the objective. The objective was be at the absolute frontier of health and wellness, and then so it wasn't designed to be dead simple to do. And so it's why there's so much friction when you look at Blueprint. It's like, oh my goodness, there's like 100 questions I have. So there's a gap with where I'm at, what I'm trying to achieve, and something easier. We are working on a few things that could make it easy for people to do, but I do want to acknowledge that there's that bridge we have to cross where it's like, okay, I buy into this. I agree with this concept, easy, and we need to close that gap.
Okay. So last question, monthly subscription. Do you plan on doing anything like that, where will be some kind of a kit that you mail, sort of like a HelloFresh style, but instead of focusing just on food, or more of
Yeah.
supplies for what you call rejuvenation athletes?
Yeah, we've tried to knock out the more complicated things. So we have an olive oil solved. We're working on dark chocolate, and we're trying to get basically the 100 pills I take every day into an easy to take powder, or just a small number of pills. So we're trying to knock out the big ones. In terms of the food, that's just a bigger business. It's like it's a whole thing to deliver that kind of fresh food. And so we haven't taken on that one. So we've really just tried to take the more complicated ones that are hardest for people to implement and knock those out. But it really was not my intent to start a business on Blueprint. My intent was really to demonstrate anti-aging is here. These things are just kind of like side projects of trying to solve a problem people have.
So do you plan on like training the trainers kind of where
Yeah,
so you don't have to be like answer every single question?
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm in touch with dozens of founders that are doing something blueprint related. So there's so much activity going on, right? And we'll start seeing it manifest in the coming months and year. But there's so much happening in health and wellness right now, and it will be bubbling up very soon. But yeah, I'm in touch with a lot of people who are commercializing this exact bridge. Like so many people are saying like, yes, I would do this. I'll pay blank per month. I just want to show up and be easy, and that is like the universal thing everyone says. And so people are definitely stepping into fill.
Okay. Do you have any goals in terms of like athletic goals? Like I know you push 800 with your legs and in the bench press 240. Like is it the goal or is it or the goal is really kind of progress further?
So like today, my son Talmadge and I we're going to go bowling. We're going to go to the park and throw the frisbee. We're going to go golfing. We're going, yeah, we're just going to like a full day of physical activities, and we're going to play all day long. And I'm going to have energy all day long, and I'm going to do everything. And so that's the win. Is I'm going to be doing activities for 8 to 10 hours today with my son, and we're going to have a blast. And so that to me is the biggest payoff.
That's great. Yes. Okay. Well, thanks. Thanks. Yeah, there were more questions. I know your team has it, and I look forward to, addressing some of those questions another day.
Cool. All right. Wonderful to meet you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Hi, everybody. Let's see where we're at on this. What's on your mind? Is it possible to do blueprint in Iraq? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. This is complicated around the world. Looks like someone hit me in the head with a bat in the head. Yep. I agree. You need $1 billion. How's Colonel? Colonel's great. The technologies in clinical trials, we're looking at depression and cognitive decline. So it's on its way. It just takes some time. Yes, I completed several sperm tests recently. We did 3. We did DNA, and then we did normal sperm analysis. Okay, supplements, laser on the. I work out 7 days a week, so every single day. Actually, okay, sometimes I'll take a day or 2 off, but mostly it's 7 days a week. Porn, I agree. Porn is not good at all. So I try to avoid porn at all costs. I don't like what it does to the brain. Yeah, after 2 treatments, my pores are improved, so they are working. I have genetically large, and we're trying to get the pore size down, and so we're down, I think, 20 some odd percent. So that's favorable. We just did an MRI looking at bone density. So we're looking at some therapies to increase bone density. I just started barefoot shoes. Yep, a lot of people have been saying that, and I just started it, and I like it a lot. So thank you for that. Love to you, India. HRV therapy, honestly, I don't know. I've been going back and forth. We discontinued HRV therapy for a few weeks. Do a palate cleanser on this, and my HRV actually stayed pretty steady. So I don't know what the long-term impact of HRV therapy is. I know in acute situations, like when I got COVID, it helped on the recovery very quickly, and also it can in acute situations, but long-term use, we're not seeing that yet. Yeah, to get over a divorce, I mean, choosing to get a divorce was one of the most significant decisions in my life, and it's one like you just kind of know it needs to be done, and you're paralyzed in doing that for a long time, and then once you do it, it's the best decision of your life. But that's typically how hard life decisions are. Is you just kind of know it's on that inevitable track. I take testosterone therapy because I'm on caloric restriction. When you eat 2,000 calories a day and you have my activity level, you go down in testosterone. And so you just need to supplement it. Rid of my depression, that's a much longer topic, which I'd love to talk about because it's so bad. Yoga's great. Yeah, I do a lot of knees over toes. Ben's a friend of mine. Parasim, I stopped using it every day. Yeah, we discontinued it to see what would happen. My HRV stayed pretty steady. I do breath work. I find breath work is much more helpful to me than meditation. At least I can do it more methodically and I like it a lot more. Work on my neck. Okay. Yeah, my swollen head probably makes my neck look very small right now. Ice baths are not part of the Blueprint protocol, not because they're not potentially useful, but because we don't have evidence that they achieve our singular objective of slowing my speed of aging. Yeah, I'd love to talk to Andrew. Andrew is a friend of mine, Huberman, so it'd be cool to talk to him. Yeah, there's a lot of plants behind me. We have air filters in every room. Yeah, NAC. We take a lot of NAC. That's just what the evidence shows. So every time something's in the Blueprint protocol, it's because we have something with evidence to back it up. We never do anything arbitrarily. Looking younger, thank you. I hope so. Trying. I've been vegan for 3 years. Do you believe building a potentially delusional framework? I mean, honestly, building a potentially delusional framework to help achieve objectives, like, I don't know. That's really an interesting question. My mind is, like insane. When I watch my mind operate in an observing mode, I'm like, God, that thing's just out of control. My son's Talmadge is in the other room. He just went out to the gym to work out. I just heard the door close. Why am I so lean? Yeah, that is evidence for longevity. It's caloric restriction. And we measure my body fat and muscle with MRI all the time. You love my mind? Thank you. I work very hard on it. I work harder on my mind than anything in my entire life. Thank you for that. That's my favorite. I don't wear earphones. My earbuds. I wear these when I do this and but I don't otherwise put anything in my ears. But I still look 40. Why is that? Yeah, because I trashed my body for the first 43 years of my life. Like, I did everything bad, like literally everything bad to trash my body. So I've been doing this for 2 years. So I wouldn't expect myself to just look 20 in 20 years. What's interesting though is the markers I have, like for example, that I've slowed down my speed of aging by the equivalent of 31 years, and my speed of aging is now at the rate of slower than a 10-year-old. So I think that's more interesting. So a lot of people look at me and they'll say, wait a second, but you look 45. That's fine. You're really missing the larger point. You have to look at the data of what we've accomplished. It's you're not going to reverse this stuff. That's why I hope you guys all start incorporating this stuff now, because it's so much harder to reverse out damage after it's happened. Goat Antichrist. Thank you. I'm trying my best. I would love to be Satan, Like, I think Satan he's been misunderstood for so long. I would like to step into that role. Yes, my sleep dramatically improved my peacefulness and happiness. Thank you. I look 25. Thank you. Your face looks roasted. Wrinkles, you know what? My progress on wrinkles has not been that great because the technologies we have tried have not worked like we thought we had hoped they would. We just got a brand new device, a BTL Exilus. It uses ultrasound, and it's upstairs, and we're going to try it in the next 2 or 3 days. And we're very excited about the potential reduction in wrinkles and also in elastin increase. Yes, Blueprint for Women is coming. The Blueprint XX, she's doing Blueprint right now. She just completed a bunch of tests. Some interesting results. There's some, some drama around that. No cheat days. Cheat days, no. Like, when you do it 1 day, you do it 2 days. I just don't do cheat days at all, ever, for any reason whatsoever, under no circumstance. I think cheat days are awful. They just train you to be in a bad state of mind. Yes, 5-minute sleep onset. I mean, I guess like this is just when you nail your circadian rhythm. You like when you have a schedule that's extremely specific, your body just sets in and it just predicts it. And so my sleep is unbelievably good every night. And I wish you all could have that same thing. I know that everyone's life circumstances are different, but man, sleep is like the best. Last time I had McDonald's, 10 years, I don't know. Plastic surgery, I've learned to say at Blueprint, never ever say never to anything ever. So right now there's no plan for plastic surgery, but like I just never, this project takes the wildest turns. Yeah, no cheat days, oh my God. Yeah, no cheat days. Don't do cheat days, you guys. It's really bad. This is exactly right. Best wake up time is your circadian rhythm. Yes, I have an 8 sleep bed. I do blue light glasses. I look 35, not 45. Skin looks beautiful. But wait, you know what? Look at my skin in a week or two. I've had a bunch of stuff for the past few months that needs to heal a little bit. I'm happy with the skin progress. I've been working on this Operation Babyface. I use a Whoop. Aura is great. So Aura or Whoop. I just use Whoop because I've had it for over 600 days now, and I have the continuity. But Whoop is also wonderful. Hi, Peru. Glad you're making progress. Yeah, I mean, I'm vegan by choice, but you know, I have nothing against meat. So people can incorporate meat and just share your data. We're trying to find the right path. What's with the Satan stuff? I love humor. I love messing around. I love the non-seriousness of life. Like, you know, it's all cool and it's all fun. And I like playing on the dark side. I like this idea. Look into the dark to avoid being blinded by the light. Oftentimes we think in life that the answer is in looking in the light, but oftentimes it's where you can't expect the answer to be. Niagen, yeah, I do NR with Niagen. We tried NMN and NR. Both increase my intracellular NAD levels to age 16. So they both work. Just make sure there's a test I have on the website from J Infinity where you can test your intracellular NAD levels. So am I religious or an atheist? I like this quote from Edward was a World War II reporter. He said, anyone who's not confused by the situation doesn't really understand what's going on. I just continually bump up against my limitations of intellect, and I just don't know how I could possibly engage in a conversation about what exists beyond my awareness outside of using scientific instrumentation. No, I never get headaches, which is, I love it. I used to get a lot of headaches. A few of you are getting your comments deleted. You're apparently not being nice, huh? What's happening? But hey, is this helpful, you guys? Like, so I'm right there on the edge if this is worth doing on a regular basis. I don't know if it is. Is this, like, should we do this? In what way is it valuable to you? Okay, I see a lot of yeses. Okay, I saw one no. Thank you. I do love negativity, as you can tell. I love hate and, you know, like. Okay, there's a lot of yeses here. Is this basically better, like doing this discussion within the comments instead of like interviews with people? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crowded. These comments are streaming so fast. Thank you for all the love. Yeah. Just discussion. Okay, so you like people like the interviews. And after this, I'll go through these comments because we're saving the comments this time. We're going to post it with the video. Then I'll be able to see more of these. Ashwagandha, we're not cycling that right now, and I haven't discussed cycling ashwagandha, but you know, I a lot, 600 milligrams a day. It's the KSM 66. It's on the website, the one we use. This is the thing on the Blueprint website. Everything is chosen specifically because we've done some analysis on it. It's never haphazard. So the Blueprint website is a great source of information for you. So you know, I have not relapsed in 2 years. So I would consider myself to be like a recovering addict. You know, when I overate at night and I couldn't stop myself, like that's legit an eating disorder. Like if I couldn't stop myself from doing it, I had a problem. And so no, I haven't. And it's liberating to not be, just overridden by. Yes, I've tried psychedelics. I did ketamine for the kernel trial. I did 67 milligrams of intramuscular ketamine, and I wore kernel flow, the brain interface, before 5 days before, during ketamine, and afterwards. And we got to see the data on what happened to my brain when I had that ketamine experience. It was amazing. It's the first time in the world someone had done a full 30-day analysis of brain data on what happens to the brain when, which is why kernel is so promising. Thank you for the love. Yeah, we're working on some budget stuff. Again, I didn't design Blueprint to immediately become a mass market product. I was really trying to do like a Wright brothers demonstration. Can you fly? And if you can fly, then other people are going to build a lot of airplanes. But I'm really trying to say, hey, everybody, yes, the world's kind of falling apart. The world's always falling apart. And it's okay. And there's a bright spot that we carve out a future we love. The therapy. So with the plasma, I did that. I did it for 6 months, once a month, 6 months. And then I had Talmage. I did that with my father and I. I haven't done it since. We've taken a break to look at my biomarkers to assess whether it's worth doing or not. I have facial hair because I have all these treatments on my face and I just can't have hair on my face either when we're doing laser or ultrasound or microneedling. Procrastination, I don't know. That's like a question, human opinion domain. I would not trust my opinion on procrastination. I don't trust my opinion on almost anything. I just, like all of us, I just make stuff up that sound into pretty stories, but then do they mean anything? I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, some book recommendations. I would recommend the biography of Zero. That's my favorite book, changed the way I understand reality. Yeah, I color my hair. Sadly, I don't want to color my hair, but it's either that or see my gray hair, and I don't like seeing my gray hair. So I hate seeing my gray hair, and I hate coloring my hair. I think I hate coloring my hair less. So I hope the gray hair reversal stuff we've been doing has reduced my gray hair by a substantial amount, but it's just unstable. Some days it looks great, some days it comes back, and we really want something that is there's more enduring. So I'm hoping to release something soon for all of you. Yeah, hair coloring is not great. Yeah, we can definitely work on the comments. I agree. This is very fast. And it might be frustrating for many of you to ask questions and not get them answered. I'm not signed up for cryonic. I'm not convinced the technologies. I should have a Big Mac. I love it. You know what? I bet you it would just make me sick. I would probably hate myself for a few hours. Maybe I should get this on video and like a Big Mac, a large fry, what do you call it? The ice cream shake or whatever. I should do one of those. But then you're gonna be there and suffer with me. I don't want to suffer by myself. Be miserable. I'm gonna have to lay down for a couple hours. How's my immune system? I never ever get sick. My inflammatory biomarkers are. They go crazy. Yeah, my body would go nuts over this. I don't take any. The science. This is like one of the most commonly asked questions. It's not in our protocol. It doesn't pass my team's assessment that the scientific evidence is there for our objective. And this goes back to the thing. I mean, Sinclair's a friend of mine, so I'm glad he does it himself. And this is a thing it's not that we know everything and everyone else knows nothing. It's just that people disagree on different paths. And so that's why we try to publish all my data to say, here's what we're doing. So here's a result for you. We try to remove it from opinion and straight to data. That's really the best place to be. Yeah, when my circadian rhythm when I travel, I try to maintain my bedtime. So if I'm in a 3-hour time zone change, I will go to sleep as though it were the same time. And I try to control light in the room, of course, with like a mask or something. My hair protocol. So let me just actually talk about the hair protocol quickly. I have a 312 diode laser hat I put on my head every day. And that's for 6 minutes a day. We have a custom compounded pharmacy who put together this custom formulation we have, 5% minoxidil, and then a bunch of other goodies. And then I do hair PRP. For the past few months, I've been doing it monthly. And the formulation I have in there is, I do so PRF, actually, then dutasteride, A-cell, and we've been trying these super shot exosomes. I'm not sure about exosomes. I don't know if it's, we're not convinced it's there yet, but that's what we've been doing. And one provider I had was using a gun with like 9 needles, and they just press the gun throughout the head. So that's been really nice. The other one, like a pitchfork, where you've got 3 little needles and you put it in the head, but that's once a month. Yeah, being on Joe Rogan would be great. Sal Palmetto, we haven't. I don't know the status of that. We have not talked about that or not, whether to do that. Okay, research. Yep. Okay, I'll share the hair formulation. No, I'm still taking collagen peptides that are non-vegan. So if you have any recommendations for vegan, that'd be great. Do the thug shaker. Wait, what is that? What is my real age? That's honestly complicated. Caffeine, rarely. So like today, I've got a tea mix. This one is, I forget the brand. This has 15 milligrams of caffeine, but I don't drink caffeine on a regular basis. To me, it's an escalation. When I start doing it, I just have to have more, and soon I get addicted. So only on occasions. Like today, this is really fun. It's Sunday morning. I'm hanging out with you guys. I'm having fun. And 15 grams of caffeine is just a nice little boost. Yes. So we're going to have a different software program. If we keep on doing this going forward, we're going to have a different software we can do this live. And for entertainment, Talmadge and I watch things here and there. I don't know, we maybe consume like 3-4 hours a week watching stuff together. Yeah, so loose skin after losing weight, it's a big deal. I used to be 60 pounds heavier than I am right now. So a substantial thing I've had to work on is trying to tighten up my skin around my body. So this is the thing, fixing damage. Olive oil. So we're coming out with our own olive oil in the next month or so. Getting high quality olive oil that consistently hits the targets has been really hard. So we have one we've solved for, sourcing from spheres. So trying to solve for these basic things that have just been really hard for us. Are you my dad? That's a great philosophical question. Yeah, olive oil, you know what? Internationally available, I'll look into that. I know we're only shipping to the US to start with, but the issue is on internationally. I'm not sure if that's going to be a problem. For loose skin, we're going to try this BTL Exilus device. So it uses ultrasound. So like, for example, if you look at my chin, you see this like loose skin right here? That's from being 60 pounds heavier and now being a lot leaner. So we're going to try to clean that up and see if we can do it. I don't want to do a scalpel. I don't want to go under the knife to do the stuff. Everything we're trying to do regenerative. Yeah, Talmadge graduated. He's going to school in the fall, and he's going to study math physics, computer science. We talked about this years ago, and we were trying to map how he could try to find stability in skill set acquisition instead of career choice. So how can he learn things that will continually help him in life? And we chose math, physics, and CS as his path. You know, like, man, I would have loved if somebody would have helped me think through life like that. Soy, I don't know if we have a strong opinion on that or not. Okay, we're up against time. All right, can I get a quick peek, everyone? Tell me what your assessment is of today. Was it worth hanging out? Do we want to do it again? Is there a different format you think would be more interesting? Cringe. Very worth. Okay, I'm going to review these comments when it's a bit slower. It seems like there's a lot of positive. Cool. All right, yeah. So please keep the comments coming. Let me know where you're at. I enjoy trying to add value to your life. In the same way, I appreciate people who intervene in my life and help me solve really tricky problems. I know that when I was growing up, there was this one guy I knew, this neighbor I had, and when I would go to him, it was like such a weird thing. He's like this random neighbor down the street, but I'd ride my bike by, and sometimes I'd see him, and I would talk to him, and I was just blown away by how clearly he thought about things. I could take him, my question could be so poorly worded, and he could just come up with such an elegant construction of that. He would reframe my mind around this thing, and I love people who have that ability. I've always aspired to have it. Is take any sort of scrambled piece of information and think it through with this clarity. And that's really what a skill set I've tried to acquire. And so that's what I'm trying to practice here with you, is hoping to get good. Okay, cool. Thanks everyone for the feedback. We'll review this and see. So let's plan on this. I'll be back next week. We're going to use a different software so that it will be, you can schedule on YouTube and get reminded. We've been using this Riverside software so that we haven't been able to state it. So let's do next week. This completes the 4 weeks I said I would do for doing this. And then next week, let's make a decision whether we keep on doing this or not. And if, cool. Okay, everyone, here's to you, all of us, for being our very best selves. Here is to our ability to seize this extraordinary future that we could have that's at our fingertips, and that we can be wise enough to look past our immediate selves and step into the future. Okay, everyone, be your best selves. See you.